Well, if you don't mind, I want to cover a few parts of it, beginning with the creative, because my general impression of this film is like My Week with Marilyn meets Hearts of Darkness meets, was the third one I had? Oh yeah, that part in Singing in the Rain, where they're trying to teach Lena how to speak correctly, and it doesn't quite work, and I can't stand them.
Well, Singing in the Rain was not an inspiration for this movie.
Not intentionally.
Not intentionally,
no.
But Hearts of Darkness, Burden of Dreams, Les Blank's film, certainly were. I didn't intend to make this movie to begin with. You know, the intention was we were going to shoot some footage, and if we had to, we'd have a wacky reality series or something. And I actually walked away from all of this footage that you saw for about 2 years until I started to pull out. Actually, I had an intern at the studio pull out one reel at the time, and I just found some of what went on kind of fascinating, and we ended up having hundreds of hours of footage. So I kept pouring through all of that footage, and I found a narrative there, and I found some lessons there, found some mistakes that I had made, some things that I didn't think were very cool. And then I also noticed that in regard to celebrity, and particularly celebrity deaths and how we treat celebrity, there seems to be a playbook that the media uses. And I was really, there's an actor that just died, Corey Monteith, is that right?
Yeah, from Glee.
I can watch whether it's Whitney Houston or Corey Monteith, I watch the media does the same, they run the same playbook to get ratings off celebrity deaths. And it's just kind of an interesting, it's an interesting thing, and it's really gross. And as a society, I have problems with that. But I was complicit at the time, and so part of the movie is a confession for me as well. So, and I think John, spoke to why we're here, and part of the reason we're here is hopefully other filmmakers won't have to go through what we went through. They'll be smart enough to see that, the game is kind of rigged.
Sure. I mean, we've certainly seen a doubling of, or tripling or quadrupling of information in the last 15 years. And in turn, we've seen the celebrity death cycle play out in a different way, probably beginning with Princess Diana maybe, and excelling through Anna Nicole Smith. Is it, that's certainly what the film is about, but is it particularly interesting for you personally to have witnessed this cycle being created, to watch the rules, and you don't really know how to play them, I guess. I don't want to play, though, what would you do differently card, but my God, if you knew the rules to the way this Anna Nicole thing might be treated through the press, are there things that you would have stepped upon differently?
There's, as I think Scott Jones, our distributor, says in the movie, he says there is no playbook. And at that time, we didn't know quite what to do. And this was back in 2007 when she passed away. And so we, at the time, thought we were doing what was best for our investors. You have to understand we have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of other people's money, including Anna's estate, wrapped up in the film. So at the time, I thought I was doing what was best, when in fact, I probably would have been better off, or at least now I feel like it would have been better if I was more truthful about the drug use on the set and everything else.
How do you rise above the noise? And this is a question for both of you. There is so much stuff out there now, and there's so many distribution outlets. How do you guys think that we can best rise above the noise?
I'm just going to say this quickly. The original title for this movie was Craptastic. Okay?
For the documentary?
The documentary,
yeah. Craptastic.
It was, that's what TMZ's one-word review was of Illegal Aliens. So David and I picked Craptastic. We thought it was a nice, talking about getting your movie. So we get a distributor, and the distributor says, no, we can't use that. One, it's kind of an aggressive title, but we really, really need a title that begins with the letter A. I said, what? Yeah, this is on a big conference call. We're with, our people here in New York, our PR people. We got 15 people, and I said, what? And we were premiering in Montreal, and we had 4 days to come up with a title, and they were saying, what is the title? Well, not 4 days, but the festival started.
Actually, it was about 3 days that we had to come up with the title.
And the distributor in California is saying, it has to begin with A. I said, why? Because of the drill-down menus on the pay-per-view. It'll be up near the top. And I said, well, why don't we call it Aardvarks and Artichokes?
But that's true.
That is why it is called Addicted to Fame. Now,
you can only do one better by adding a number in front of it.
So anyway, it ends up on Time Warner Cable, and I'm so excited. Here's our documentary, a documentary on Time Warner Cable. We had a Netflix deal. We had all these deals. And I go to their ridiculous system, and I go to the menu, and it's like 111, let's have fun. No. 222, let's go screw. Okay? And it's all numbers. 50 films with numbers. Finally, they get to the A's. And there it is. This is the dilemma. So, do you use promotion to get your film above the noise? Do you go controversial, which we see a lot of, to get above the noise? This is still that old thing. You have to promote your movie.
Yeah, I think that, and ultimately, I don't believe that having our movie start with what I think is a lesser title helped us, for the record. I don't think starting with an A made a big difference for us. And effectively, you know, to get above the noise, what I was attempting to do was basically stunt casting. You know, if you're going to cast Anna Nicole Smith and Joni Lauer, you're not casting them for their thespian abilities. You're casting them for their name value, and that's why we cast. Why celebrities are cast in movies.
And for a particular genre kind of film.
Right. We were making a B movie, and we knew that we had that latitude. It was very goofy, very self-referential, and so that was stunt casting was our attempt to get above the noise.
It was something I noticed in the documentary. I kept thinking, Jesus, did he cut this thing? Because you've got these parts where you so boldly reveal reviews, and you so boldly show yourself. I mean, you cut back on the drinking some, I'm sure, but you show yourself in a very raw light, and you show the reviews as being pretty honestly miserable, and you show the pursuit. I think I have jotted down here, it's almost like you have the pursuit of a skeezy film, and you end up with a sleazy life that follows it. And I mean, I'm not talking about yours, I'm talking about the media frenzy surrounding it. I don't know about your personal life, but the sleaze that ends up following the film, and at what point do you kind of go, okay, this is a B film, they do have it wrong, I always intended it to be this, and what point do you go, wow, that review kind of hurt, and how can we best prepare the students, or actually anyone, for sort of taking on the chin and then being able to reform this and rework this into a documentary that seeks truth, because, as you said, good documentary work is going to be the honest work. And I was surprised and impressed with the honesty that you were able to sort of do, because I can't look myself in the mirror. I'm not going to watch this.
Well, thank you very much for that, first of all. I'm Catholic, so I'm guilt-ridden all the time, looking to confess whenever possible. So there's probably a bit of that in there. And I think it was, yes, I edited the movie because I wanted to tell my story. And I had edited dramatic stuff before, so I thought and I knew the materials, so I think there was something in me about getting all those feelings out. And, you know, when you speak about bad reviews, I don't care what anybody says. Bad reviews hurt. To be honest, I don't mind bad reviews so much as dismissive reviews, where the reviewer will basically take their own personal impressions about things and wrap it around the problems of your film or whatever they think the problems are.
Was there one in particular that got you? Or one sort of general example we can take from?
Well, I mean, I have to tell you, we had some bad reviews on this documentary. And they weren't talking about the documentary. They simply said that I was trying to cash in on Anna Nicole Smith once again. And that, I didn't really have problems with those reviews for Legal Aliens. But
it was worse than that.
It was like an ex-girlfriend who was mad at me.
Entertainment Week said it was necrophilia.
Yes, necrophiliac cinema is what they call it.
Sorry, necrophiliac cinema?
Oh, no, necrophiliac they called it David Giancola's necrophiliac documentary. And that hurt, because this was my attempt to come out and say, look, this is the truth. But I also realized that when you're being critical of the media, and the media is owned by basically 3 corporations now, you're going to get some backlash, and that's what a lot of that was.
You also had some very good ones, the Los Angeles Times, the Variety. Unfortunately, I think when we were in Montreal, I might have insulted the Hollywood Reporter reviewer because he asked a question that made no sense.
What happened? What did you say?
Well, he showed up like we're sitting watching the movie, and he sits in front of us 30 minutes into the movie, and then asks a question that if he'd seen the beginning of the first 30 minutes would not have asked.
And I was very polite, and he was
said,
not.
You know, you walked in 30 minutes late, pal. This is in front of everybody. But you know, that's rude. And I'm sorry.
We won't do that to anyone here, by the way. We saw you've all been here.
And, but no, the funny thing is this movie it got some very good reviews, and it got some very bad reviews. But that's-
Whereas Illegal Aliens, they were bad, but it was kind of, I think what hurt most was the thought that we were trying to exploit Anna's death, because we were trying to very much not do that.
And isn't it
By the time we released the film.
Isn't it a weird place? I guess this is what the film is about. A weird place to be for a B movie to get a review like Craptastic. This is the worst thing of all time. You start going, well, like,
that was the point.
That's the thing. That's why we do this.
We thought we would ride it. I mean, that was the thing that says the worst movie of all time was an internet review that came out while we were shooting, and I figured, well, I think it's a compliment, the worst movie. If I haven't finished the movie yet and it's the worst movie of all time, I must have set up something really interesting. At least I'd have that, I'd be in the top 10 of the bottom.
And The Room hadn't come out yet. I love that one. I have like one or two quicker questions. Number one, did you coin the term Michael Jackson syndrome?
I might have.
Because I laughed when I heard that because I was like, shit, can I get that?
That was back in 2005.
Yeah, well, no, actually, I did the voiceover, a couple
No,
years
that
ago.
was you on camera.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I did. I coined it. I'll take credit for that. I think the film Addicted to Fame specifically is here as a warning parable, but I'm still looking for my next project, so I'm not so pessimistic as to say that I'm going to quit. We're not saying that all is lost by any means. We're just saying beware, be alert.
So it's kind of like the last line to Annie Hall.
Yeah, I need the eggs.
I need the eggs.
What is it? My brother's laying eggs, or
my brother thinks he's a chicken. Doc says, "Why don't you have him committed?" Guy says, "I would, but I need the eggs."
I need the eggs. So
that's how we can all feel about the film industry. It's crazy. It doesn't make sense, and sometimes you witness the rise and fall of yourself and a murder. But at the end of the day, hopefully, and they can understand this as well, we do need the eggs.
I need the eggs.
Great.
Yes, we do.